There's an old urban legend in Millport about the Crimson Sleeper, a parasitic entity that appears when someone stays awake for more than 72 hours. According to the legend, it doesn't attack while you're conscious. Instead, it waits until you inevitably fall asleep, feeding on your dreams and trapping you in a loop of unending nightmares. Those who have encountered it wake up changed, or they don't wake up at all. Diana had heard the stories but dismissed them as local nonsense. A grad student buried under deadlines, she found herself pulling 3 all-nighters in a row to finish her thesis. By the 4th night, her vision blurred, and her thoughts felt disconnected. But she didn't stop. She guzzled coffee, chewing on ice cubes to stay alert. It was 3:13 a.m. on the 5th night when the first oddity occurred. Her bedroom mirror, always slightly tilted, appeared perfectly straight. She thought nothing of it at first, chalking it up to exhaustion. But when she looked again, her reflection was wrong. It didn't move when she did. It just stared. Diana turned off her desk lamp, trying to convince herself it was just the sleep deprivation playing tricks. As soon as darkness enveloped the room, the whispers began. They weren't words, more like fragmented breaths. She flipped the light back on and they stopped. She scanned the room, finding nothing. Her laptop pinged. A notification. She opened it to see a video attachment from an email with no sender. Against her better judgment, she clicked it. The video was grainy, showing her own bedroom. The camera was aimed at her bed, and she realized with a jolt of horror that it was live. She turned to her bed, but it was empty. In the video, however, someone or something lay under the covers, breathing heavily. The blanket shifted as though it was being pulled tighter. Her bedroom door creaked open. "Hello," she called, her voice trembling. The silence that followed was deafening, but she heard the faintest click, her closet door slightly ajar. She grabbed her phone and tiptoed toward the closet, her hand trembling as she swung the door open. Nothing, just clothes swaying slightly on their hangers. But the air was different, colder, heavier. She slammed the door and backed away, heart pounding. Then her phone buzzed. Another email. The subject line read, "Let me in." Her body screamed for sleep, but she refused. She barricaded herself in the living room with the TV blaring and every light turned on. She sat on the couch, clutching her phone like a lifeline. Hours passed, and nothing happened. She began to think maybe it really was just sleep deprivation. At 5 a.m., the lights flickered. Once, twice, then they went out completely. The TV hissed static, and in the dim light of her phone screen she saw it, standing in the corner of the room. A figure shrouded in crimson, its face obscured by a dark veil. Its shoulders rose and fell unnaturally, as though it were breathing too deeply. She froze, unable to look away as it began to move closer. The static on the TV grew louder, almost deafening, and the figure raised a hand. Long, sharp fingers reached toward her, but just as it was about to touch her, everything went black. Diana woke up to daylight streaming through the window. She was lying on her couch, her phone clutched in her hand. She laughed nervously, shaking her head. It had to have been a dream. Exhaustion had finally won. But when she looked at her phone, there was a video waiting for her. She hesitated, her heart racing, before pressing play. The video showed her sleeping on the couch. A figure in crimson stood over her, its veil lifting slightly to reveal empty, hollow eyes. As the video ended, a new email appeared. "You'll sleep again."